We're talking about the Schiff really hitting the fan. You know, everybody's having fun with this one because you can't help yourself. I used to always say the Schiff show, but the Schiff hitting the fan, it really is. I mean, it really is. So all kinds of things have come out just within the last 24 hours, including this little wowza. So there's like 3,500 pages of classified intel that Adam Schiff had access to. And he basically used all this intel to come up with, which was, by the way, manufactured, right, by the Democrats, including Hillary Clinton's team. Yeah, you know, the law firm that she hired, Perkins Coie. Perkins Coie went out and hired Fusion GPS. They went out and hired Christopher Steele, who went out and hired somebody that we even suspected of being, what do you know, a Russian spy. Whew. You know, 6 degrees of separation. It gets a little too close for comfort, right? So anyway, she had some sketchy characters, shall we say. I mean, Perkins Coie had like a nice reputation, but it just kept getting a little bit murkier and murkier, right, as you went down. So all this stuff was created that we now know that, right, by the opposition research team. It was fed to Democrats, including one Adam Schiff, who then went forward. I mean, he impeached the guy 3 times, right? I mean, it was one thing after another. So he had an axe to grind. He wanted, of course, to, now we know through this whistleblower that he wanted to be the head of the CIA. God help us, had that thing come to fruition, for goodness sakes. I'll tell you, Americans, we tend to get these things right. And we knew that the Clinton team would be a bad team, but, you know, they didn't get in, and it's like nobody could handle it. So now what are we dealing with? We're dealing with a guy who may actually go to prison for, well, could we say this is treasonous? I think you could. Because, you know, if you have access to specific intel that's classified and privileged, you know, people are mad at Julian Assange. Well, he's paying the consequences, is he not? So why would Adam Schiff get off the hook? He had a guy or a girl, we don't actually know if it's a guy or a girl, it's a whistleblower. He had somebody on his staff that told him, you know, buddy, you can't do this. You just can't do this. And he wouldn't take that seemingly for an answer. So this is all what has come out. Let me show you here in part of this documentation that was first reported by Just the News and has now been picked up, well, by some of us, not all of us, right? Because the mainstream media doesn't want anything to do with these things. Anyway, when he was, you know, running the show there, the Schiff show, as I like to call it, he believed that he would have been appointed, allegedly, as the director of the CIA had candidate Hillary Clinton won the election. That's according to the whistleblower. Now, also according to the whistleblower, and this is really, really important, in February of 2017, that would be February 13th, 2017, he instructed the staff that he wanted to, quote, drive the Russian involvement issue into a joint inquiry similar to the 9/11 Commission. And to do so, he instructed the staffers to use any sources they had developed to gather information, which was then going to be made public through the media in order to compel public opinion. You see how they're trying to manipulate public opinion over and over and over again. It's really pretty darn gross. So I think that's important as we look at this to remember they're constantly trying to manipulate public opinion. One of the things that they tried to do was to collect more information on Michael Flynn. Poor Michael Flynn, you know, we know how that one went down. Information on Michael Flynn's contact with Russia. They tried to deflect the request by telling them that the information was likely held by the FBI. Nonetheless, Schiff kept asked again, to which they said they'd give it a try, although they were actually never able to read out all the contacts. I mean, it's pretty incredible in light of the fact that Adam Schiff was out there telling everyone over and over again that this president effectively wasn't legit. He was put there by the Russians, etc. John Solomon from Just the News, head of Just the News, first reporting this, he gave the documents, I guess, to Kash Patel, and now there's going to probably be an inquiry into all of this. So Adam Schiff is, you know what, his pants right about now, shall we say? Yeah, okay. I usually don't go there, but we have to because we can't help ourselves. You know, sometimes I'm like a 10-year-old boy. Here's John Solomon. Listen to him.
Listen, this whistleblower literally sat in a meeting, he tells the FBI, where Adam Schiff authorized the leaking of classified secrets to dirty up Donald Trump and to try to build towards either a select committee in Congress or a special prosecutor. This whistleblower was a career intelligence officer. He had worked for the House Intelligence Committee, Democrat staff, for a dozen years when he came forward to the FBI. He gave 4 interviews. He gave very specific information to the FBI, and nothing happened. Why? Because the Justice Department simply decided to take a pass. How many times have we sat around in the last decade and heard, we're going to get to the bottom of that classified leak, and then a few months later, we couldn't get to the bottom of that classified leak. In the case of Adam Schiff, they got to the bottom of some classified leaks, but the Justice Department chose not to act. So tonight, past attorney generals, people like Merrick Garland and Jeff Sessions and Rod Rosenstein, who was acting on Russiagate, they've got some serious questions answered. Did they know about this Adam Schiff stuff? Why did they allow it to be passed on? And will anything happen in the current Justice Department?
I mean, not to mention, apparently this whistleblower went to higher ups and filed multiple reports saying, oh my gosh, Congressman Schiff is trying to leak classified intel. And nobody did anything. Surprise, surprise on that one, right? Nobody did a darn thing. And he went out there and he continued to spout his nonsense all over the airwaves over and over again.
In which the Russians offered help, which we know they did. The campaign accepted help, which we know they did. The Russians then delivered help, which we know they did.
There is circumstantial evidence of collusion. The case is more than that, and I can't go into the particulars, but there is more than circumstantial evidence now. So,
you've said on more than one occasion that you've seen ample evidence of the Trump campaign's Russia collusion. Last March, you said you had more than circumstantial evidence of treasonous collusion with Russia.
I've certainly said that there's ample evidence of collusion.
Can you agree that there has been no evidence of collusion, coordination, or conspiracy that has been presented thus far between the Trump campaign and Russia?
No, I don't agree with that at all. I think there's plenty of evidence of collusion or conspiracy.
But we do know this. The Russians offered help. The campaign accepted help. The Russians gave help, and the president made full use of that help. And that is pretty damning.
Reviewing the evidence that I have.
So he said a lot of stuff, and he apparently leaked a whole bunch of stuff. Like, what kind of person does that? I mean, you're a member of government. You've got access to specific intel, maybe because, you actually, for some patriotic reason. No, this wasn't about patriotism. According to the whistleblower, it's because he's mad he didn't get to become the head of the CIA. He thought if Hillary was in charge, he'd be all set. So Adam Schiff is going to be in a lot of trouble. I want to go back. Do you remember when the director of the CIA, John Radcliffe, was in his confirmation hearings? And he was asked about, whether or not he would be transparent and truthful. And one of the things he brought up was directly related to all of this, because he knew that Schiff was up to no good back then. And he kind of referenced it. This is a call out of Schiff back in, quite recently. I think this was in January of this year. Just listen in to what John Radcliffe said. And remember, this is now the head of the CIA. So, Adam, watch out.
In 2020, when a chairman of an intelligence committee misrepresented that a laptop owned by then candidate Biden's son was somehow a Russian intelligence operation, and 51 former intelligence officials used the imprimatur of IC authority to go along with that, I stood in the breach. I stood alone and told the American people the truth about that. So I think my record in terms of speaking truth to power and defending the intelligence community and its good work is very clear. And what I can assure you is those types of instances, if I'm in that position as CIA director and have to do that again, as uncomfortable as that can be, to be accused, the truth will ultimately defend itself, and I think that that intelligence will as well.
So the whistleblower did report this, actually, and in 2017, the whistleblower was informed that the issue, I'm quoting here directly from the report, would not be investigated further by the DOJ, as congressmen have immunity to all speech and actions made on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives, did not believe that the activity he witnessed would be protected by this legal provision. Well, the whistleblower was right. Like, there was, I don't think he is protected by this, because you can't take secret intel, classified intel, and then go out and call up your buddies at the New York Times who you have on speed dial and whoever else, right? Like, you name it. Like this, they were in the business of trying to manipulate public opinion, and they owned the media. So they had the media resources to be able to do this. He hated Trump. They had their narrative and they ran with it. I mean, to the point where they even had Jimmy Carter saying, this is not a legitimate president. So it's all coming out. And interestingly, you haven't seen Adam Schiff say a whole lot on any of this, whether it's the mortgage fraud thing, whether it's the whistleblower. I mean, he's up the, you know what, this is the Schiff's Creek, okay? I mean, I think he actually could find himself in enormous amounts of trouble, but there's a lot of people that need to be held accountable right now. The media, never reported on any of this fairly. They're incapable of reporting on any of this fairly. It's just not in their DNA. I want to turn to what they've been doing in terms of DC, right? Because they're not reporting any of that in DC very fairly right now. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. I mean, if you listen to them, for goodness sakes, you'd think that like DC was actually, safe, right? But before I do, I want to tell you about balance of nature, because you know how into ingredients I actually am. I read the ingredients now on everything. I actually credit RFK Jr. I'm putting this on the screen so you can see balance of nature, code Trish.com, code Trish for 35% off, and you actually get a free, limited time only, a free extra spice and fiber supplements. So go check this out. We love our sponsors here on the Trish Vegan Show, because they make it all possible for me to be here with you free every day. So there's no charge on this. And, we just think the world of these guys. And I'll tell you, I think the world of myself and my family and my kids, and ingredients are really important. And so one of the things I like about this company and their supplements is that their ingredients are good things only, okay? We're talking about supplements that have no binders, they have no additives, no artificial colors, no fillers, just whole fruits and veggies, gluten-free, vegan-friendly, all that good stuff. And they use advanced vacuum cold processes in order to better preserve the nutritional value. So I can say with confidence that when I'm taking my fruits and veggies, I'm actually getting 31 ingredients worth of fruits and veggies. That's a big deal every single day from Balance in Nature. And you can too. Join me in this. Use my discount code TRISH to get 35% off, free shipping, plus for like a limited time, I said you get the free bottle of fiber and spice. But you have to use my discount code TRISH. It helps the show. It helps you. It helps me. All good stuff. Lots of helping all the way around. I should point out their phone number you can call directly is 1-800-246-8751. 751. So 1-800-246-8751. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. I'll put, you know what I'll do? I'll make sure that we have it in the show notes as well for you. So do give them a call today.